The Troika Plus meeting in Moscow on the Afghanistan situation will have two noteworthy absentees. The United States and Afghanistan, both pivotal players, one with deeply consequential stakes in the region and the other the war-ravaged country itself. Washington has cited logistical issues for not being able to attend the Troika Plus meeting. The State Department spokesperson Ned Price at a press conference on Monday said that the Troika Plus had been effective, but America will not be able to take part due to quote-unquote logistical difficulties.
We will not participate in the Moscow talks. The Troika Plus has been an effective, constructive forum. We look forward to engaging in that forum going forward, but we're not in a position to take.
Troika Plus or Troika Extended representatives, Russia, China and Pakistan will be meeting ahead of planned international talks with the Taliban on Wednesday. But Wednesday's talks will entail the Moscow format meeting, which will have representatives of Russia, Afghanistan, China, Pakistan, Iran and India. This will be the second time when Indian representatives will be coming face-to-face with the Taliban officials in Moscow. And while Washington has not officially said so, foreign policy watchers are intrigued with the timing of its chief negotiator to the Taliban, Zalmay Khalilzad, stepping down from service, which has led to speculation that the impact of his sudden absence could not be mitigated in time. Thomas West, who has been the Deputy Special Representative for Afghan reconciliation since January this year, will be replacing Khalilzad. Zalmay Khalilzad, an Afghan American, was appointed in 2018 by former U.S. President Donald Trump and continued to hold the position in the Biden administration. Abdul Salam Hanafi, the second deputy of the interim Prime Minister, will be leading the Taliban delegation for the Moscow format. Many analysts, in light of Moscow's invitation to the Taliban to the important forum, have speculated that the opportunity may as well drag Afghanistan out of isolation because of Russia's standing in the world. And joining us on the broadcast are our correspondents Julia Chapman from Moscow, Anas Malik from Kabul and Siddhant Sibal from New Delhi. Julia, coming to you first, a lot of emphasis has been laid on dealing with the Afghanistan crisis. Now, with this Troika Plus meeting taking place, what are the expectations at this point? What are you picking up on the key focus areas?
Well, the main area that these countries talking today ahead of the Afghan talks in the Moscow format tomorrow, the focus really for them is to find some sort of common approach to working with the Taliban. Of course, that's something that has been very difficult for the world leaders after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, and it's one which Russia has an approach that is fairly pragmatic. We've been hearing from Russian officials today ahead of these talks saying that these are really just getting the Taliban down to the table for the first time here in Moscow since the takeover to lay out the way that the rest of the world sees the situation in Afghanistan. But Russia's envoy on Afghanistan, Zamir Kabulov, says that there will be no demands put to the Taliban, simply concerns, simply topics for discussion to maintain relatively cordial relations between the now government of Afghanistan and these talks, the other members of the talks that are going to take place tomorrow. But certainly today, with those talks between Russia, Pakistan and China, without the US present, will have a different approach. There will be a different attitude from these countries that doesn't quite get balanced out without the US being present. And there has been criticism leveled at Russia and indeed at its partners today at these Troika talks that they have been giving the Taliban a free pass. Now, Russian officials would refute that. Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister speaking today said that Russia wants to certainly see a more inclusive government in Afghanistan, and he said there is no discussion so far of Russia recognizing the Taliban as the official leadership. Of course, the Taliban remains an extremist organization here in Russia. Nevertheless, Russia has been open to dialogue with the Taliban since they took over in Kabul, and that is something that has been met with a lot of criticism around the world.
Right. Let me bring in Siddhant at this point, who's joining us from New Delhi. Siddhant, Wednesday's talks will entail the Moscow format meeting, which will have representatives of Russia, Afghanistan, China, Pakistan, Iran, as well as India. Now, this is for the first time that Indian representatives will be coming face-to-face with the Taliban officials in Moscow. What are the expectations?
Well, Molly, view from New Delhi is on two aspects. One, of course, the Indian side, for the second time formally, will be sitting with the Taliban leadership. That is something when it comes to the visuals. Optics do matter when it comes to geopolitics. Will there be a bilateral, in a sense, what we saw on 31st of August when the Taliban leader met the Indian envoy Deepak Mittal in the Indian mission is something which is still not confirmed. Will this kind of meeting is going to happen or not? But if we look at in terms of the Moscow format meeting, India's focus will be like other countries of having an inclusive government in Kabul. In fact, just a short while ago, Russian Foreign Ministry has issued a statement talking about the key focus areas in the conversation. First, of course, inclusive government in Kabul. Second, the humanitarian crisis. Remember, there is an onset of winters in Afghanistan, in Kabul. We have seen visuals as well, and this is a worrisome factor given that it could impact the large swaths of population, and India has been traditionally a major humanitarian aid provider to Afghanistan. So what happens now is something that only time will tell, but India's focus point will also be on that aspect. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently at the G20 virtual meeting on Afghanistan talked about specifically about the humanitarian crisis which Afghanistan can see perhaps in a matter of weeks because of the onset of winter and, of course, no food supplies.
Right. Anas Malik has been tracking all those developments ever since the Taliban took over Kabul. Anas, this Troika Plus meeting on Afghanistan, strangely enough, will be taking place without the participation of the US and Afghanistan. Zalmay Khalilzad stepping down has also raised a series of question marks.
Well, absolutely. It has raised a series of question marks, but Taliban's foreign ministry spokesperson Abdul Qahar Balkhi has just issued a statement. He said that Zalmay Khalilzad being at the helm of affairs, he managed to get that deal done, and the Taliban hope that the new admins indicating towards Tom West will be able to engage in a constructive and positive manner so that the abidance of the Doha deal from both the parties can continue. That is on part of the Afghan foreign ministry or the Taliban's foreign ministry spokesperson. As we speak, just before I went for this live, the Taliban spokesperson Zabiullah Mujahid, he has also issued a statement on the Moscow format talks, and I quote that the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, that is the Taliban, has participated in these meetings since its inception and has stated in its position and policy. Now that there has been a major and quote-unquote positive development that has taken place in Afghanistan, the Islamic Emirate has taken over the reins of affairs, and the Islamic Emirate has been invited as well. Therefore, we want to extend the status of the new Islamic government to the countries of the region of the world so that it can facilitate bilateral and multilateral meetings on the sidelines of the conference. So Taliban trying to reach out to the international community through this conference, going for that recognition bid, reaching them out that they're up for recognition, that they have been part of this. Moscow process since its inception, and trying to give this semblance that they are now a reality and that they have to be engaged with. Molly?
Right, and we will keep a close eye on all those developments coming in from that meeting. Leaving it there for the moment. Anas Malik, Siddhant Sibal and Julia Chapman, thanks very much for those details. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.